this is Sonia from A Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today we're going to do some 5 text cards. I haven't done 5 text cards for a while. I'm missing it. And I'm using Aloe Roots printables, the new printables for the first part of this month. And I'm sure I've got it right this time. It is the right printables for this time of month. So it's got beautiful, it's all about love. And I love a color scheme. It's this purpley and sort of lavender purple and pinks, dusty pinks and greens. So yeah, I just love it. Beautiful color combination. And obviously, yeah, it's all about love and some different themes also. This one is called Heavenly Home because it's talking about our home in heaven. And yeah, I love the chair. It's inspired by Helena Dam. I don't exactly know who's that, but yeah, I just love the elements with the verse. Psalm 84 verse 1 to 2. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord. So that's beautiful. Love all the elements. And then this pattern paper goes with it. So I'm going to use this pattern paper obviously to do my 5 text card. Love the ombre effect, sort of dark to light. Then the next one is Be Joyful. And so I chose these two because they're more or less the same color scheme. And I love this block with the joyful that stood out to me immediately. And I absolutely adore these flowers that are just beautiful, beautiful. Lots of a journaling spot, verse again, some washi tape. Just love the color scheme and the black and white accent pieces. And then this beautiful, beautiful water coloring sort of effect, which is part of this printable. I'm going to use that as my 5 text card. Absolutely adore it. I'd love to be able to create something like this with watercoloring, but I think you need to be quite skilled to do that. And then each month he's got labels, but goes with the color scheme. That is the color scheme for the month. So if you want to get out all your inks and your things and you want to swatch it, you can more or less compare it with these colors, and then you will know you are inside the color scheme for the month. Unfortunately, I don't have many inks and things like that. I just absolutely have the most basic inks for things. So it's no point for me doing it. But if you have loads of inks, the stress oxide inks or color crayons or whatever you have, just go for that and swatch it for yourself. And this is the labels. Love it. And then you've got these little different type of labels which you can use as tabbies at the top. So yeah, that is what I'm going to use today. So I'm going to start with making my 5 text card. Yet again, I've got a video all about 5 text cards, how I make my own 5 text cards. So I'll link it up here below for you, or at the top rather. So if you want to make use of it, you can. But let's put you on fast forward and let's start. Okay, I've cut my 5 text card out. And I've made a pocket also inside because I want to put the verse inside there at the end. And then I'm just putting a doily on there. I don't know why. I always like to put doily on my 5 text card. It just brings something to it. And I definitely wanted to use this beautiful corner flower because I think it is perfect on something like that to put in a corner. It just worked out perfectly for me. So I'm going to use double-sided tape just to secure it. Doilies is difficult to secure because it got lots of holes inside. So if I put glue stick or wet glue on it, it always seeps through. So sometimes I just use a double-sided tape, especially if I put something on top of it also. Then it works better. And I also wanted to use double-sided tape for this flower because I don't know if I'm going to tuck something underneath it. It just makes it easier. So yeah, this verse or this verse we are documenting here on the 5 text cards. For those who doesn't know what 5 text card is, to all my new subscribers who maybe never seen or know what the 5 text card is, it is just like almost like a memory text card. Like sort of in the previous years, it's definitely having a comeback now that people have these, they put addresses or telephone numbers there or just quotes on these memory text cards. And this 5 text card is just where you put a Bible verse or something you want to remember. You just document it that as if you would have documented in your Bible. It's just a way to be creative. It's just a way to cement that truth you're looking at, that Bible verse you are documenting, to look at it again, maybe read around it, just meditate on it and see what the Lord wants to tell you. So this obviously is Be Joyful. And as I said, my word of the year is hope and joy. And faith and all those things goes hand in hand with, because if you've got hope, you can have joy in the midst of difficult circumstances. A real joy is joy in spite of difficult circumstances. It's very easy to be joyful if you're hopping on a plane and you're going on an overseas trip, or it's your birthday, or anything good happens in your life. That's very easy to be joyful. But it's the fact to be joyful is in spite of your circumstances, and that's that inner joy of, even if you're in the midst of a storm, that you just have that inner joy, that you have the joy of your salvation. The fact that you are saved, that gives you that inner joy, and that's the overriding umbrella of how you see life and how you approach life. So yeah, that gives you that inner joy and hope. And we're looking at Ecclesiastes 3 verse 12, and I want to read the verses around it because it's so beautiful. It says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, He has put eternity into man's heart, yet so that he cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I perceive there is nothing better for them than to be joyful and to do good as long as I live. And if you can have that motto in your life, to be joyful and to do good as long as you live, I mean, that is just beautiful. That's such a beautiful motto to have in life, to be joyful, because we have a reason to be joyful. We've got the good news of the gospel, and to do good, because it's, our faith needs to have an outpouring. It doesn't help we just have faith. We need to also display our faith. So in the meantime, you've seen me decorate the faith text card, and I'm busy at the back now. As you can see, I've sort of double on those little flower there at the top, just to use it as a tabby. I like to go upwards with my faith text card. It's because obviously you can't go down and you can't go sideways, but you can definitely go up with your faith text card. So it's nice to make a pocket, and you can put the Bible verse in there, or your journaling, or whatever you want to do, you can pop in there. And that's why I sort of like to hang those elements over my faith text card, like the flower. And I sort of had two of them, so I backed them up, so it's not a white space that comes out at the back. And now I'm making my own little tabby with sort of a little journaling element, which is part of the printable, because I thought it will just, it's obviously you can use ribbon or lace or whatever, but I just thought I'm going to make myself a tabby just to be able to pull and that thing easily out from the faith text sort of card, because otherwise it looks a little bit random if it's in there. So that concludes my first entry, and now I'm moving over to my second faith text card. This one I struggled a little bit with. In hindsight, I think I should have printed the elements a bit smaller. I mean, this is a lovely printable for also doing an entry in your Bible, but for a faith text card, I think it was a little bit big. I couldn't put as many elements on there as I wanted. So I ended up just using this rest chair, because it sort of reminded me of this home, and it's talking about how lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs, yes, faint for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh sings for joy to the living God. And that's, I think, sometimes when we've been away from our homes, maybe traveling on business or whatever, we are longing for our homes, where we our own bed to sleep in, our own rest chair to sit in and read, or watch TV or whatever. So this is how we are. We are longing to be in the dwelling place, in the courts, there where the Lord are, in church. And especially for us, maybe we haven't been at church for a while because of circumstances, we are longing to get back to church, to have that normal activities of just spending time with our fellow believers, being involved and serving and all those type of things. So I think that's sort of something we can resonate with at the moment, that we want to spend time with the Lord. But luckily, wherever we open the Bible and we spend time with the Lord, and we come into His presence, that will satisfy also, and we will need that longing. So I'm busy with the back of the faith text card now, and I wanted to put that heavenly home on there, because I didn't have space on the front of it. I definitely wanted to put it somewhere at the back, and I decided to cut that washi tape printable just in half, and I've just sort of made a black line around it, so it doesn't look like it's cut in half, because there was a black etching around it. So I'm going to pop it there, so it looks like obviously that's just something, a little reminder. And then that little hanging pendant or whatever there, I wanted to put that there. I just cut the inside so it's not white. And then I thought to myself, I don't have the verse reference yet, and all the verse references was a bit big, the elements to go on the faith text card, so I decided to cut off just the reference from that journaling card to put it on there, because obviously it's no point having this 5 text card if you don't know the reference of the verse, especially if you don't have the verse on the 5 text card. That's why I decided also to cut the rest of the verse out and make it almost like a tag. So I'm going to cut the corners up in a minute, and I'm also going to make a little tab or use one of the washi tapes to give it a little a tab to pull out. So yeah, that is the different ways of doing 5 text card. Or you can put the verse on top of the 5 text card, or you can just decorate the 5 text card with a sentiment and put the verse inside a pocket. I mean, to make the pocket is very easy. Obviously, you just do some double-sided tapes or glue, whatever you want, and you just put it on the sides and at the bottom, so you have that opening. Yeah, and in the back, I've just used those round elements, and I just said that there's nothing better than to be joyful. And that is just a nice sentiment I want to remember. So this is my 5 text card in my 5 text box. How it looks at front and back. And that is the card about being joyful and do good. And this is one about the dwelling place, and we long for the dwelling place, and it just doesn't need to be just church, but our heavenly home also. So I hope you'd like to enjoy this entry. Let me know if you're still into 5 text cards, if you're still enjoying it, and if you've done one before. Remember, I will link all the details of the Ella Roots principles down here below if you are interested to pick it up. If you like this video, please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I really appreciate that also. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic Saturday. Lots of love.